Haunted. The night swallowed all kinds of species, the wind howling together with the sound of pigs shouting each successive consecutive door to the room number 12. The room is located at the bottom of the corridor on the second floor. The corner of the room dark, and sitting back, I do not stop short tangled hair. The sound of the ear is still unmistakable, the sound is shimmer, like the sound of the broken loudspeaker combined with the long-winded sound of shaking. I feel so hurt, save me, take me away. And back, pressed against the wall, just want to enter the cold wall, to escape this horrible obsession. And finally crying, slowly pulling down his hands, lifting his head up, his eyes filled with fear. With a quick glance, the scary imagery appeared in front of her eyes. On the paved stone floor, the half-human girl was crushed, the lower part of her body seemed to explode at any moment. Deformed eyes are pressed thinly towards her, stripped of blood. And yelled, the scream echoed in the silent corridor. The scream sounded, no response. As usual, the people in this hospital were so familiar with the screams of the night, they did not care nor care. Regardless, there is nothing but mental patients here, when screams, if there is a response, are more screams. The crushed half-hearted girl shivered a little closer to the house where she wandered through the vague can also see the bloody mess of meat, but a slimy mucus from the female. My crushed here, seems like a human brain. Take me out. Unscared, both trembling continue to back up, but both her body has been attached to the wall already, want to back basic is impossible. The mucus hands continued to rise, reached out, and repeatedly scraped an empty white trousers of turning it into a dark red patch, mucus, as horrible as her body was now. So another night passed in horror. The door opened, and pushed the nurse's fall, quickly rushed out the door. The eyes have not been exposed to a bit of sunshine for a long time, and the whole body is running down the street. Behind her, the top half was crushed on the road. You want to abandon yourself, you want to abandon yourself. Cries clattering, stretching, trembling, hissing from time to time. She brought the crushed arm halfway, grabbed N's white ankle. And falls down, palm friction with the surface of a broken board. Excuse me, please, leave me alone. And arms fold, begging, tears falling non-stop. Miss, you're fine. An hand on N's shoulder, warm low voice. Meet the savior, and quickly turned around, grabbed the other guy's hand. Both her body froze, face frozen. Anne, why are you? Male look at the girl in front, this is the girl he once loved. Absolutely different. She is now messy hair, pale face, bewildered, dark circles, black eyes on the body is a baggy white clothes, sandy legs bare sand. Why did you become like that, what happened after all? An insatiable look at Nam, her current form, is so embarrassing. From afar, the men in white robes rushed forward. Panic look at the other people, fear, clenched her hands tighter. Take me out of here, please. Nam hesitated not knowing what to do, but looking into eyes contain absolute belief, he did not think anything but help her up, help her car. In the small motel, facing the south, eyes still not escape the fear. Why did you become like that? Nam spoke, sad voice. Not paying attention to the words of Nam, has tried to avoid the images in his eyes. Recognizing the anomaly of South approached, kneeled down a pillow and grasped her cold hands. Tell me, what happened after all? Get out of here, get out of here. And trembling. And turns to one side, shivering in turns. Looking at An's attitude, South shook his head confusing. What are you doing? There, Dayan trembled just south as sitting. There was a hangman hanging down her hair. Sometimes she raised her head to her long tongue, her whole body shaking so scary. Hurry and get out of here. And shake hands South, begging him. Listen to An's words, the South's spine is chilling. He carefully turned his head, looked behind him, then smiled a smile. Then I take you out. Wrapping up his windbreaker, An stood up. Sitting in a small eatery, on the dinner table, 2 plates of fried egg fried rice lie there. Please eat. He put a spoon in An's hand. Then tell me what happened, why are you locked up in the hospital? Nam did not say straight, but as you see today, must have been her last time locked in a mental hospital. Why intelligent girl, beautiful, sharp one moment was mentally. Method, is dead. Unsay, tears falling, drop by drop, drop by drop. A month ago, the accident was still alive, and he was dead, the container was rolled over, the top was crushed. Pictures of the crash that day show up. An accident was thrown out, Phuong fell to the floor, the container rolled over, the upper crushed, sticking to the road. At that time, she herself had witnessed how her best friend died, how painful it was. If not at her because of breaking up with Nam that drove cars, Phuong also did not have to die so painful. Thought to come here, and hands up, tormented short hair. Tears are salty, salty. A month ago, the day you said goodbye. South look at An, hard to say every word. No answer, no sobs. So he is the culprit, is the death toll victims, is the killer that his daughter turned into the present. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. A drop of tears on the southern hemisphere falls, helpless. This evil cancer forced him to leave An, forcing him to say goodbye to her. He did not expect, good for her finally turning into her harm. Nam stood up, went to sit next to An, embraced her in her heart. It's my fault, so do not blame yourself, come back to me as a child of the past. Feeling the warmth waited for so many days, An arms around, embracing the South, hugged him tightly. Only then will the fear in her heart be lessened. Do not leave me, please. In a newly hired room, sitting on the bed, Nam embraces An, leaving her quiet in her lap. One night passed, he just sat there, watching sleep for her. Feel the warmth of men's bracelet, and go to sleep easily. On the corner of the bed, the girl half-body was severely crushed. Look at the romantic couple. Her eyes were covered with red blood, her face thin, she was thinned like a sheet of paper shaken in the wind, her lower back swelled as if the balloon was blown. The tension will soon explode. Nam and An probably did not know that, while still alive, love Nam secretly, even love South before An's step. But because of her friend she had to endure tolerance. But jealousy of humans is not small, because of jealousy that the friendship she gave to An has not been as before, and the lovers of the couple's friends have cracked somewhat. The only peaceful sleep this month, waking up, and mood has been somewhat static. She directly asked Nam to visit the grave Phuong with her. This month, since the accident happened, Phuong died, she was sent to psychiatric hospital, a compressed incense for Phuong has not done yet. Perhaps so in the heart she was born illusion. And self with such a heart. Nam agrees to An's request, though he and Phuong can be considered close friends. She died, he also very heartbreaking. Standing in front of the grave Phuong, Nam hands An, careful to protect her in his heart. Since coming to this cemetery, Phuong increasingly clung to the South, fearful eyes as if they are avoiding something. At the same time, standing in front of Phuong grave, An leaned against his chest. You're so ruthless, you're happy South, but I have to die. The shrill shriek. Take me out, I'm in pain, I'm really hurt. He rushed his hands up, sealed his ears. But those terrible sounds still ring. Fuang's thin face stiffly brushed against her. You dumped me, you're so hateful. The sound trembling, ceaselessly ringing, it makes an head like to burst out. Realizing the anomaly of an, Nam slightly lowered his head, touching her hair. Are you alright? An raised his head, his white face struggling with a smile. Let's get out of here. Nam anxious to taken out of this gloomy cemetery. On the way, An tightly clenched his ears. But no matter how tight she is, the scary sound echoes, hissing from time to time. Get me out of here, I heard. You dumped me, you're so hateful. Why me, why do you die, and you live so happy? His voice was close to An, making her mad. An arm out of the south, shouted. I cannot take it anymore, really cannot stand it, sorry, sorry. Speaking of which, she rushes to the side of the road filled with cars, eyes of despair. South panic, not thinking much, he rushed along An, pull her back, protect her tight inside as he still do. The car was suddenly unable to brake hard on the couple on the road. Despite the strong car, South still firmly hold An and tight inside, until they both fell to the ground to let go her. On the road, traffic congestion, blood flowing into a long line of people. On the other side of the road, the girl on top of her body was crushed, her blood was messy, her lips twinkling with a grinning smile, tears from the eyes of bloody red blood. Finally, we are not happy. The crowd gathered, crammed each other, curious, scared to look at the couple in front of them, they commented. The sound of the people in the ears, the sound of the human voice, not the scary sound, and weak opening of his eyes, facing her, Nam lying on the pool of blood, silent. That girl opened her eyes. The voice is clearly transmitted to An. Despite these voices, and the silhouette that haunted her for a month on the opposite road, an invocation, voice containing love, and even sin. Male. Listen to the call, dear, eyes closed slowly, heavy open. I want to, for you, a surprise in the field, the grass, it cannot be seen. The last smile appeared on Nam's lips, then slipped off, his eyes closed. An look at him, hard smile back. No, I will come, I'll take that surprise. An arm, try to stand up, blood flowing from the forehead, warm to the eyes, not deprived of blood, unstumbling steps on the road, ignored from people. East came, the cold wind rushed, wind breeze gently through An's short hair. Her delicate little body floats in the wind, lonely, in the endless grassland. This is the unexpected that the South wants to give her, the prairie may be filled with fast wind blowing, spinning, rotating forever. Holding hands hugged himself, and laughed wildly. Laughter echoed across space, then echoed her dying heart. Cold, cold. He squeezed back tighter. Man, I'm so cold. But no matter how tough she is, the cold is still clustered, very cold. Both An trembled echoes. The piggy bank shuffled through the soft winds of her soft hands, and could vaguely see the scratches on the grass. Male, hug me, just hug me, I will not be cold again, will be warm again. On the grassy field, the fuzzy shadow of the sun suddenly appeared behind her, the pale face of the boy was bleak, though his smile was still on his lips. He reached for his hand, covering An's small, fragile body. Quickly feel the warmth, a happy smile on An's lips. Man, I'm not cold anymore. At that moment, a wind blew in, dragging the faint silhouette of the other man away, vanishing. And slowly fall, solitary falls between the seagrass. Nom, I can meet you now.